Today we're here to talk about acclimation and why it's a very important part of our process. Acclimation is simply the process of delivering the wood early and allowing it to adjust to normal living conditions and the environment of the home. It's very important to make sure that those conditions are set to normal living conditions. We do not want the environment too cold or too hot. We want it set as if somebody was living there. Wood is hydroscopic. In simple terms, that just means it can take on moisture or release moisture depending upon the surrounding environment. When we hit really cold and dry conditions, the wood's going to release that moisture and it's going to tend to have a lower equilibrium or lower moisture content. And in the summertime, when humidity levels rise, that's going to take on moisture. So how does the acclimation process work? There's a saying in the hardwood industry that you need to get the home ready for the wood. And what that's really saying is we want to make sure that your project, your job site is set up to normal living conditions. We want to make sure the house is fully enclosed and that the HVAC systems are running. It would absolutely defeat the purpose and have a negative consequences if you were to deliver that wood to, let's say, the garage, where the garage space is not climatized and not set up to normal living conditions. Another important step of the acclimation process is when you bring it into the house or bring it onto the job site, you want to make sure that wood is cross-stacked and has a little bit of room to breathe between the bundles so that all of the bundles can fully adjust to the job site conditions. How do we know when the wood's ready to be installed and it's been fully acclimated? Unfortunately, there's really no set time frame. As a general rule of thumb, we allow 7 to 10 days, and that usually is enough time. What's important though is that we get the relative humidity of the job site and the temperature. And we'll plug those two key metrics into an app, and it tells us exactly what the equilibrium moisture content should be of that plank. Why is acclimation so important? Well, if we install a floor that's too dry for that environment, it's going to continue to take on moisture after it's been installed, and it's going to swell and cup maybe 3 to 6 months down the road. And if we install a floor that has too much moisture for the environment, it's going to shrink 3 to 6 months down the road, and you're going to get gaps forming between each plank. The last thing anybody wants to do is put down a significant investment for new hardwoods in their home and see them cup or gap out 3 to 6 months down the road. So really, to summarize this acclimation very simply, is it's really to minimize the risk or minimize the chances of your floor expanding or contracting after it's been installed. As a contractor, we want to do everything possible to keep that from happening. And acclimation just simply allows us to deliver the wood early and allow it to get accustomed and adjusted to your environment.